everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. Today we're playing with MAC. Yeah, I know, MAC. And the new collection, Tempting Fate. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stay tuned. Hey everybody, hair back. So as I said in my intro, we're playing with MAC's Tempting Fate collection today, and I don't know what to say about that. I mentioned in my other video that I had picked it up randomly, and if you want to go see the story behind that, you know, please go check it out. But ended up in a MAC store. Tempting Fate looked really pretty. I haven't picked up MAC in I don't know how many years, so here we go. First, I do want to mention I have the MAC Studio Face and Body Foundation on my face. It's a very lightweight foundation, and it does look really nice on the skin. I'm just looking for the shade. I'll find out the shade and put it down below. I think it's N2, but it's not really the point today. The Tempting Fate packaging, so you guys can see it, is this sort of like Baroque packaging. It has, I think it's pomegranates on the front and other types of fruit. Don't know why, but it consists of a couple of things, including this eyeshadow palette that looks very pretty. I cannot wait to try out the shades in here. We will swatch this momentarily. Then we have I picked up 2 lipsticks, 2 eyeliners, 3 illuminators, although I only have 2 at the moment. When the third one comes in, I'll just do something on Instagram. And then I picked up 2 lipsticks in the Luster Glass lipstick formula. Luster Glass used to just be the lip glass, like they had like a lip gloss, and they had one that was called like Luster Glass or something. In fact, you can see them behind you. I used to have, still have a ton of MAC lip glosses because they used to be my favorite. I'm gonna put on bronzer. I don't have a MAC bronzer. I'm gonna just use Tom Ford Terra as we speak. And so I picked those up just because it looked kind of interesting. And I was like, oh, I don't have that. So I was like, well, I'll try it. This seems to be, the 90s are back. I don't know what else to say. We've got NARS, we've got MAC. I hear choker necklaces are back in style. If you don't know what a choker is, look it up. No, I'm just kidding. Chokers are basically necklaces that just like come across, you know, the base of your neck, and just sort of sit like right here. And they were extremely popular in the 90s, as were little like butterfly clip barrettes and a whole bunch of other things that I wore. And if I can find a picture of me from the 90s with said makeup and chokers and stuff, I'll put it up. Because why not? So, like I said, they all have this, you know, I would call it Baroque packaging. And the lipsticks I bought On a Pedestal, and Tarnished Reputation. I will have swatches up on Instagram as well. And then eyeliners I picked up, I know it's the blue and the green, but the names are getting old. Cobalt and Pine for me. Cobalt, what does that say? It says something else. Cobalt, Coal, and Pine for me. The Illuminators, I have 2 of the 3 here. I'm not going to wait for the third one because you've already seen a lot of the reviews on this, and frankly, it's selling out. As I mentioned in my other video, and the reason I mentioned it is that I think it is like selling out. It's now available on Nordstrom. It's available on Selfridges. So when this goes up, hopefully you can still buy some of these things. I knew it was going to sell out. I could just tell by the vibe in the store. Okay, so they're strobe face glaze illuminators, and they have no shade. That's not possible. What are the shades? Okay. Oh, here we go. Barrow Cocoa, Rose Gold Glow, and then the other one that I have is the pumpkin one. The pumpkin one wasn't available here, and I, to be honest with you, don't remember where I bought it. I think it was Selfridges. It's been a rough week. Dog had surgery. He has no teeth. No teeth. and he had biopsies, and I'm having a rough week. Okay, let's do the luminizers and let's just see what they look like. Put these on. So let's first do, this is the Barracoco. And now I think these are going to be kind of hard to see because, you know, they're illuminizers. So, but we'll do our best. So that's a very, hold on, please hold. That's a very like bronzy gold kind of shade. Let me see if I can make it a little deeper just for the purposes of, you know, this. That's way too much, but I'm trying to show you guys. That's obviously way too much, but so the thing I would say is I think that's going to look much better on a deeper skin tone. On me, using this as a highlighter is going to be tricky because I can, like you see how sheer it gets, but it's going to be so bronzy. Maybe I'll try to use it like almost like a bronzer, you know, like in the bronzy parts to kind of highlight it that way, like more of like a highlighter, and see how that works. We'll see what happens. And then the Rose Gold Glow. Let's pull that one out. Let's see if we can. Like I said, I'll make it thick. I mean, it's going to be way too much, but that way you can actually see the color. And we'll put it up here, like we'll shear it out. I'm going to use that as more of like a blush illuminator for obvious reasons. It's bigger. So those are the two shades, the Rose Gold Glow and the Barracoco. And, you know, for people who haven't used these before, they are strobe face glaze illuminators. They are both described as such, so they're both supposed to be illumination for your face. They're supposed to be sheared out. The idea, I think, is, I've used these before like a while back. I think the idea is to, you know, use them to illuminate your face. I don't think they're really meant to be opaque in any way. So I don't, you know, I do think this one, the Barracoco, even though it doesn't really have a shade to it, I think it's going to look better on a deeper skin tone, which is good that they have one, because I think it's like its base is like a deeper shade. So I think, you know, underneath, although it shears out really quickly, I think it would look just like glowy on a deeper skin tone. On my skin tone, I feel like what it does is, I don't know, it just looks kind of muddy. It doesn't look bad. I just don't love it. It's not something I would reach for. In fact, that's a shade I might. But I mean, I can play around with it some more, but see if it's something that like I could give to somebody who it might work better on. Now, the pinker shade, I will use more like a pink, you know, like a blush glow. Maybe we can get it to be more, yeah. I think that works. Again, it's still very sheer, but it just gives your skin some illumination, dewiness. There's not much shade there. The pumpkin one that I got, I think will have more of that like orangey shade. This has more pink. The other one has more bronze, but there's not a lot. Like there's not a lot of shade. Not a lot of pigment. I mean, I think that's the point. They're illuminators. They're not supposed to be, I think they're supposed to be illuminating. They're kind of dewy. They look kind of wet. Let's see if they dry into the skin. My skin has been dry most of my life, but lately, a little dewier. I don't know what's happening. Who knows? So let's do the shadows and let's swatch them. I will show you the Luster Glass lipsticks as well. Let me just see on the back of this if it says anything about names. It says eyeshadow ×8, feast your eyes. Oh, no. There are names on here. They are super tiny though. Okay. Feast your eyes, which is a sparkler. What a pair, which is a sparkler. Midnight Stunner, which is a sparkler. Yesterday's Gossip, Leather Luster. Velvet Vamp, which is a sparkler. All That Jam, which is a Prisme Metallic. Golden Rage, which is a leather luster. And Brocade Renegade, which is also a leather luster. I don't know what any of that means, but we're about to find out. All right, so let's get into all these cool new formulas. I wish I knew which ones were which. Let's just see how the formula is. Ooh, that's pretty. This is definitely a sparkler. Or what did they call it? Sparkler or sparkle? Let's see. Sparkler. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but anyway, definitely sparkle. Okay. So that's that shade. Then this one feels more matte. It's definitely like a creamy shade though. It feels very creamy. Yeah, these all feel really creamy. Interesting. Oh, that's a really pretty color. Yeah, these feel like super creamy, actually. All right, we got the gold. This feels more like topper, but I think you can see that these are very pigmented. Okay, this is again creamy. Oh wow, this is an interesting formula. They feel like they have, almost like they have moisturizer in them. It's interesting. It's the green. You know they love the green. All right, so I think I figured out which ones are which colors. We'll see. Oh, that one's nice. Okay. Let's see how many sparkles we have in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, interesting. We have 4 sparkles. So these are the sparkles, I'm guessing. And then we have the leather lusters, which are the ones that I think feel really, I kept saying felt creamy. I bet you these are the leather lusters. Because that makes, they feel kind of leather, like buttery leather. That's what those feel like. And then the Prisme Metallic. It's all like one word. I wonder, there's only one that's Prisme Metallic. Maybe the green? The name of the Prisme Metallic one is All That I Am. The rest are either sparklers or leather lusters. Interesting. Well, I can tell you which ones are the leather lusters. That's pretty obvious to me. It's these two, and this one. Those 3 are leather lusters. That makes sense. And then the sparklers, it's definitely this one, this one, this one, and this one. So the green has got to be the metallic. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And I'll see if I can figure out online if I'm totally wrong. But that's what makes sense to me at the moment. All right. Let's go ahead and dive in. They are not easy to get off. Let me just say that. All right, let me pull you in a little bit closer, or a lot closer, whatever. Okay, let's see here. Let's take a Wayne Goss number 17, and let's go in with one of those leather lusters. Let's go in with the lightest shade that almost for me, skin tone shade, and see how that works. works. This is still very sticky on my face, by the way, the luminizer. So I might go over that with some powder. So this shade, this leather luster shade in whatever name it is, and like I said, if I can figure out online which shade is which, if I can find a schematic, I'll put it in the video. If I can't, then you just know this is a leather luster. Yeah, it's an interesting formula. It's like, it really does describe it pretty well. It feels like a leather, like a buttery leather, but it goes on, it swatches beautifully. Yeah, it's really nice. It's interesting though, because they're kind of not in, like, I'll show you in a minute. They almost, they have ridges around the pan, so like a baked gelée. They're not, you know, up to the edges on the pan. They have edges around each pan. Really interesting. I don't think I've ever really felt anything like this before. They're not like a cream to powder formula. They're not at all powdery. It's really interesting. So see if you can see what I mean by the edges. Can you see what I mean by the edges of the pans? Like this edge here, there's an edge all around the shade in the pan. It's really interesting. All right. Let's go into that brown shade. Again, leathery luster. And I'll intensify that and see what that does. Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, they definitely blend. I'm concentrating this on the outer half of the eye. Yeah, this is a really interesting formula. I don't know. I don't exactly know how they did that. So when you take the shade, this browner shade, and put it on over the skin tone, I'm calling it the skin tone shade, the shade that's like my skin tone, you get more of this, what would I call that? I don't really know what the shade name is, but it has a little bit more, it goes a little warmer, which is interesting because most of the time things go cooler on me. So, but it's very pretty. And it really does feel like leathery, buttery, but not leathery in like a bad way. What I'm trying to say is, you know, if you say leathery on your face, that doesn't necessarily have a good connotation. This feels more like a buttery feeling. It's really interesting. All right. Okay. I'm going to powder down the luminizer a little bit because it feels sticky. I think the luminizers I don't know, they don't really work for me. I mean, all they really did, I don't see really any, I guess I see some luminosity, which is fine, but I don't really see a shade. The browner one, the cocoa one, maybe works better on a deeper skin tone because the undertone is deeper, so that might work. But honestly, it really didn't do anything, and neither did the pink one. Maybe the way to use those really is an all over under the skin, kind of like the Auric or the Lisa Eldridge, and not really over foundation. I'll try them next, like all over the skin, and see if it just gives me more of a glow, because maybe that's the better way to do it. Okay. Let's take, let's take the green shade, which is I think the metallic. This is the Hourglass 6 brush. I think that's the metallic. Yeah, it's a little more powder, definitely more powdery than, you know, the other ones. And let's just put that. It has more of a metallic look to it. Yeah, and I'm getting some fallout. Not a ton of fallout, but you know, some. And I'm just kind of putting this all over the eyelid into the crease. I'm going to put the copper shade on the outside. It's very pretty. It let me get a brush. It does have fallout, and I can see like little glittery particles, so I'm guessing that's the metallic. So if you really want to enhance this one, maybe use some glitter glue or the Pat McGrath wand, which has fast become a favorite. I'm doing this more of as like a sweep of color. I will try using this green. It's a really pretty brocade, like olive green, you know, with something like the wand or even, you know, wet or something like that, because I think it's a really pretty shade. But I'm mixing it with other shades to try to show you the palette. So I think, you know, it loses a little bit of its emphasis by doing that, but I do think it's really nice. I also think you could use your finger and get a stronger look. Okay, so let's take the copper shade and let's put that in the corner. Let's use the Chanel eyeshadow brush. This is a really pointed little brush. And I've been trying to clean my brushes for like forever now. And I need to clean my brushes, but it's gonna have to be this weekend. All right, this is the shimmer sparkler. Sorry, sparkler. Yeah, definitely sparkly. And I'll blend it more, but right now I'm just gonna put it on like the outer corner of my eye, just so we can see if it can go over the other shades, and it definitely does. Had that reddish shade underneath anyway, so that works. Tie it into the crease and buff that out a little bit with the Wayne Goss 03. Yeah, I have so many brushes that I'm able to like get away with not, you know, washing them for a while, because I can just be like, oh, I'll just use another brush, which is fine. But you know, I've now gotten to the point where there are no more brushes to use, and yeah, I need to wash my brushes. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take this, like the first shade, definitely a sparkler shade. Let's use my finger. It's really pretty. These are all really nice formulas. They're working really well. I haven't had a MAC eyeshadow palette I don't remember the last time, but I mean, this is really pretty and it's working really well. The formulas are blending. I think it's really nice. I think if you took any one of these shades, you could definitely like do more with it, you know, deepen it up, make it more enhanced by, like I said, using it wet or using the Pat McGrath wand or all of those things. I think you can also make it look a little bit lighter and have a little bit of a more natural daytime look, which is what I did today. So let me just clean up the outside a little bit. All right, so there is our final look. I'm going to use liner so you guys can see the liner. I think it's really pretty, and it definitely has that like Baroque, which I've used a couple times, look to it. Like it's got the browns, greens, I'm just blurring out the edges a little bit here, golds. It's a really nice fall palette. I think they blended well. The velvet formula is really interesting. The sparkler, or whatever that is, there is glitter on my face. So I would suggest doing your eye look first, or going in very lightly and packing it, or using like the wand, because I do have glitter. It's pretty. It looks really nice on the eye, but you're gonna have glitter. So if you don't want glitter on your face, you're gonna wanna do that. So let me show you the pine and the cobalt. I think the pine is the better of these two looks. But I'm going to show you on my hand. So first of all, one thing I want to show you. The pencils are drier pencils, okay? These are not like, that's the pine for me. And I'll show you the other one, the cobalt coal. These are not super soft pencils. I think you can see that in the way that these drew out. They are, you know, drier pencils. They're not super soft. And I think you can see that in the lines of them. To give you an example of what I'm trying to say, I'm going to take a Victoria Beckham pencil, and I'm just going to do it right up here on my hand, and watch how this, you see how like smooth it is? It's so much softer. And that doesn't mean that the MAC pencils are bad. It's just that it's a very different formula. These are definitely smudgeable, but they're not, you know, they're not super soft. So if you have very dry eyes or you don't like a drier pencil, I don't really think you're gonna like these. It reminds me of the MAC lip pencils, which some of them are my favorite lip liners because they stay on forever, but I never use a MAC lip pencil unless I have some kind of balm on my lips, because they are drier and they will pull, at least on me. They might not pull on you, but they pull on me. So that's the only thing I'd say. I don't think these are soft. So if you really like and only like a soft eyeliner, I don't know if this is for you. The color, however, is really beautiful. So let me show you it on the eye. I tend to use the MAC pencils on their side a little bit. You notice that I don't go in like this. I kind of go like this. I feel like you get a softer look with that. It didn't pull. I mean, I'm doing this real time. You can see. I think they're not, you know, super dry, but they're not nearly as soft as the other pencils that I generally use. So I want to be really honest with all of you, because, you know, MAC is not a line I usually review, and I do like MAC. I used to love MAC, but the pencils are like their lip liners. They're drier formula. I think they stay on well, but I would not say that they are a soft, smooth, Chanel, Victoria Beckham, Chantecaille, Sisley kind of liner. It's just, they're not like that. They're not a gel, flowy kind of liner. They're more old school types of pencils. Okay, so mascara. So one of my favorite mascaras, actually, of all time is the MAC Extended Play mascara. I use this on my bottom lashes all the time when I use my my thick, like big mascaras on my top lashes, because they can't fit on my under eye. So today I'm going to use this on both lashes because, you know, why not? It's a MAC kind of day. And then I will do a lip color, and then I'll show you the other lipsticks that I picked up, the luster glass ones, just so you can see them. And then we'll finish off the look. All right, so we have the Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara on. This is a really good lengthening mascara. It doesn't give you a lot of volume. In fact, I wouldn't say it really gives you any volume, but it's great for like lower lashes, for lengthening. I think it really gives, you know, it separates the lashes. I love this for my lower lashes. And like I said, I use it all the time when I'm using like my Jones Road or my Bite Beauty on the top lashes, because I really can't use this on my lower lashes. I mean, at least I haven't figured out how to do it. Maybe you guys know how to, but for me, it does not work. So let's finish this off with lipstick. So the two that I picked up, like I said, I picked up the Tarnished Reputation and the On a Petal Still. Get it? Petal Still. So this is, I'm going to put it somewhere where you guys can see it at this point. I'm running out of room. You know what? Let me wash my hand. I'll be right back. Well, I'll say this. Those velvets really stay on because I washed my arm and scrubbed it until it didn't come off. So I'm going to need to use makeup remover, but that's fine. For the purposes of this, it'll be okay. I'll put it on my hand. So let's do the Tarnished Reputation first. And this is very much an orangey, a little bit of pink. Really pretty shade. This is the one that I was immediately drawn to and hoped that they had it in stock, and they did. I'm looking to see what kind of formula. It says matte lipstick. Just says matte lipstick. So it doesn't say luminous matte or sheer matte or any of the new types of mattes. It just says matte. So that's the matte lipstick, Tarnished Reputation. And then the other one, which is on a Petta still. Sorry, that cracks me up. It says Amplified Cream Lipstick. MAC was always known for coming up with, you know, fascinating names for things, formulas and stuff. I don't know what an amplified cream is, but it feels creamy. So I don't know what to tell you. Really pretty. Has like a petal kind of pinky look to it. I'll use the tarnished because I know that's what most people are interested in seeing, even though I generally don't wear mattes, but I know that's what you want to see, so that is what I will show you. Let me also show you the Luster Glass lipsticks because I just think they're really nice. And I picked up Hug Me back in the day, back in the 90s. I know I just did my supermodel 90s look. I wore Twig lipstick. Of course, everyone wore Twig lipstick, so yeah. All right, so this is Hug Me. I think that's really pretty. I think that's gonna, ooh, it smells nice. Sorry, it does, it smells nice. I think that's gonna be a shade I wear. And then the other one is Local Celeb. And again, these are the Luster Glass. These are not part of the holiday, the Tempting Fade or whatever the Tempting Fade is. But they were just shades that looked really pretty to me. And I hadn't tried the Luster Glass stuff. So I was like, oh, it's kind of like, you know, a glossy lip. Has more of like that orange. It actually looks a lot like the Tempting Fate, but a little bit more orange and glossy. And then this one looks a lot like Pedestal, but glossier. Interesting. That's how I picked it. It was, yeah, I didn't do that on purpose. I wish I was that good, but I'm not. All right, so I won't use the Luster Glass ones because, again, they're not part of the Tempting Fate collection, but I wanted you to see them because I just thought it would be interesting for you guys because I really did like the shades, and it turns out it was because they look very much like the shades I picked up in the Tempting Fate collection, which is, yeah. All right, so let me put on the Tarnished, and I won't use a lip liner or anything at first. I'll just put it on, and then I'll probably build it out a little bit with the lip liner, but we'll see. Very pretty shade, very fall. Very pumpkin spice latte-esque. Yeah, it's nice. It has the MAC smell. I don't know what that smell is, but it's a nice smell. It brings me right back to the 90s. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. It's a really nice shade. I'm going to take Spice Liner, good old-fashioned Spice Liner, and just build this out a little. Really all I'm doing is smoothing the line. My lips aren't perfectly symmetrical, so you know, it just makes them more symmetrical. Two things I'd say about the lipstick. This is a matte lipstick, and I'm sure it will settle into a matte, but at the moment, it actually feels quite comfortable, which is interesting. If you've watched my channel before, I'm not a matte person. I don't like matte lipsticks. And this actually feels pretty nice. If it stays this way, I'll be very impressed because I like that. It feels nice. It's, I'd say it's like a burnt pumpkin kind of shade. It's actually really pretty. Again, very fall, very nice. I definitely like it. I would say at the moment, I like the color of the liners, the cobalt and the green. The pine is really, really pretty. I love green. So cobalt, coal, and pine for me. And if you're okay with having a little bit of a drier liner and you're looking for a really pretty shade, I really like the shade. I think it's beautiful. Like I said though, it's not it's not the softest of liners. So just, I'm putting that out there. The luminizers, I don't really like. I don't like them for the purposes of what I use them today. I'm going to try them all over my face and see if I like them that way. So I'll try that. The pumpkin one I don't have yet. So when I have it, I'll let you know. The eyeshadow palette I think is really pretty. The formulas are really good. They blended really well. It looks really nice on the eye. Didn't accentuate texture. Very fall-like palette. And the velvet is an interesting formula. I'd like to just use the velvets and see, and like 1 or 2 shades, and then see what happens. These, you know, I used a whole bunch of different shades, so it kind of blended. It blended well. It didn't blend away. It's just that, you know, I'd like to use like 1 or 2 shades with just the velvet shades and kind of see how that holds up. But I do think it looks really nice. Yeah, it looks good. I didn't use the pinkier shades today. I did a warmer look, so it'd be interesting to use those as well. The lipsticks at the moment feel nice, which is weird. I'll have to try, of course, the, what did I say it was called? The, I forgot the name. Amplified Cream, which will be interesting. But this matte, it just says matte, and it doesn't really feel that matte. It feels nice. Yeah. So all in all, this is pretty good. I mean, I don't love it as much as, like, say, the NARS palette, the Climax palette. That palette might be my, I don't want to say, it's too early to say it's my favorite palette, but honestly, blew me away. Loved it. I don't feel that way about this palette, but it's definitely a good palette, and I do like it. I also like the fact that it's smaller. It's a tinier palette, so it's easier to travel with when I ever go back to traveling, which is, you know, we'll see. So I'd say the lipsticks first. Like if I had a rank. Lipsticks are my favorite. I've only used 1, but this matte actually feels very nice. Liner second, mostly because of the color. They didn't tug. They're not super soft. So liner's next. Then the eyeshadow palette. And the luminizers, at least at the moment, not for me. I'm going to try them all over my face and see how that works, because maybe that's really what they're meant for. The Luster Glass lipsticks look cool. I like the formula. I in fact loved MAC lip products back in the day, so maybe I should have just gone back and been buying MAC lip products this whole entire time. That could be. Funny story about when I used to work for Chanel. There was a short period of time that I had a counter at a Nordstrom when I was working for a Chanel at Nordstrom, and there was a Chanel on one side and a MAC on the other. Why they chose to put those 2 brands back to back, I will never know. But anyway, and it was really interesting because the MAC crowd was young, hip, really cool people, and everyone wanted the MAC, like, essays. And the Chanel clientele was, you know, it was not the same. It was over the age, I'll be honest with you, it was like over the age of, I would even say almost 50. Like there were maybe 40. And, you know, I had a really good book of business, and I worked for Chanel for a couple of years. And I enjoyed it. And I worked in different places, and, you know, I was working for Chanel, but it doesn't matter. But the point is, like, it was fun and I really enjoyed it. But Chanel was not like a cool brand. I'm not sure Chanel was ever a cool brand. Like, the thing that was probably the coolest about Chanel that they ever did was the Vamp nail polish, but Chanel isn't really like cool. Chanel is classic, timeless. You could call it all those things, elegant, but not cool and hip. At the time, this was late 90s. MAC was it. Like MAC was everything. And the pigments and the lip glasses, and, you know, it was just huge. And it was just so funny, the difference in clientele. And afterwards, like the essays, the MAC essays and the Chanel essays, we would laugh, because the clientele would come up to the MAC counter. I'd be like, you know, I can help you. And the MAC clientele was always like, no, we'll wait for, you know. And then the Chanel people were the same way. They were like, no, we don't want the MAC people, we'll wait. And it was just fascinating, because we were all makeup, we're all trained. We were all, you know, we all were makeup artists, and we could use, and I used MAC products all the time, and the MAC people used Chanel products all the time. But it was just so funny. It was like, it was just on both sides of the counter, but it was just a totally different world. Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed those days. It was a very, very long time ago. But anyway, so that is the MAC Tempting Fate collection. I do think it's good. I do like it. I think the formula in here is interesting. It's definitely new. It's not something I've ever felt before. So those are my final thoughts. I will have updates for you guys throughout the coming months when I continue to try the liners and the lipsticks. And when the pumpkin luminizer gets here, I'll do something on Instagram or something, or I'll incorporate it into a future video. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.